Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another ARP Neuro Q&A. My name is Jake. I'm the ARP Neuro trainer, and we have Matt Dell, our CEO, with us. Matt, good to see you again, sir, over in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. How are
Yeah,
you doing?
doing great. How you doing today, Jake?
I'm good. We're finally getting a little rain here in Florida. You can't really see it, but that's always nice to see.
Love the setup. The backdrop is fantastic. So
Thank you. Yeah,
it's good.
I want to take a nap here in the cot later tonight.
Well, yeah, aren't you scheduled every day at 2 o'clock for your nap?
I have a 2 o'clock nap. Yeah, it's in my contract. I'm glad you remember that. Thank you.
Yeah, are you kidding me? It's like I had to get approvals and it worked out. So I'm really looking forward to our guest today. Tell us a little bit about who we've got, and I'm really fired up.
Good stuff. Great. It was nice to do a little dive. So let me just give you a little bio, and then we have a little video to kind of showcase some of his stuff. But he is the founder of a company called Crown Chiropractic in Cerritos, California, where he offers a luxurious and personalized approach to chiropractic care. His practice provides a comprehensive range of services, including routine adjustments, rehabilitation exercises, soft tissue therapy, cupping, and ARP neurotherapy. His journey into chiropractic medicine was inspired by his own experience with a gym-related injury, which led him to appreciate the benefits of chiropractic treatment firsthand. This personal encounter fuels his commitment to understanding each patient's unique needs, ensuring they leave his care feeling better and more informed about their health. Beyond his professional endeavors, he's a passionate animal advocate, and I had to address this, actively supporting pet adoption initiatives. He shares his life with his rescue dog, Cass, and finds daily motivation in his role as a father to his young son, striving to be a both dedicated parent and compassionate healthcare provider. With a perfect score of 5-star rating on both Google and Yelp, he has established himself as a trusted and respected figure in the chiropractic community. Everyone, please give a warm welcome for Dr. Louis Thibault.
Are we having a technical glitch, Jake?
Oh man!
Do not leave our Q&A. Jake, did we lose you?
I think we lost Matt here on this. Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you guys? Or
Good.
how are you doing? I think we got
Doing
him back.
well. Got him back on. Matt,
Got him back.
if you wanted to bail, why didn't you tell us, huh?
Was that me?
That was all you, buddy.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Well, welcome. I love it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Technology. I don't know how and what happened to bounce me off, but appreciate having you today.
Did we freeze there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
tell us a little bit of background on just before we even get into it, like your initiative with animal advocates, a big dog lover. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah. I think it started me getting my dog, but just seeing the shelter conditions and kind of just being a voice for the voiceless was always something that I thought was imperative for people who have the ability to do so, so I just wanted to kind of use my platform, obviously, to help people, but also kind of just get some exposure for, again, the ones that can't kind of provide it for themselves.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a big dog lover, so when I saw that, I had to at least put that in there.
Yeah. I didn't expect that. So I was like, oh, you guys want to, I like that.
Yeah.
You guys dug up some research on me. I love that.
Yeah, Jake's very good at that. So give our listeners just a little more background on you, how you got into your business, and tell us a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, so I played sports since I was 4. Played basketball, football in high school, and I hurt myself. So obviously very active lifestyle, but I ended up sustaining an injury probably in my early 20s. Deadlifting got to the point where I couldn't even, sit in my car. And I got recommended to a chiropractor who um, gave me a few adjustments, gave me a few tips, and just seeing the results kind of come through really intrigued me. My mom actually worked at Kaiser for most of my life, and I was always used to kind of Western medicine, and it wasn't something that was as appealing to me. But just seeing like a way to heal holistically was something that I wanted to kind of provide for other people. And then just my sports background, I just have a soft side for athletes because I know that, historically athletes don't get the best care. So I kind of wanted to just, center my approach around those things.
Yeah, that's great. I think that whole holistic approach thing is becoming so prevalent in today's day
Yeah.
and age, just because they had such a challenge, if you will, because everybody wants to get fixed. Now everybody's kind of educated on the downfall of just the pharmaceuticals and trying to
Oh,
get through it
100%.
that way. Surgery, trying to avoid that. And I think it sounds like you've got a great. Tell us a little about your practice, then. How long you've been in, and where you're located.
Yeah, so I'm in Cerritos, California. Full circle moment. I actually used to work in this plaza early 20s, and I'm back here with my own business now. But I born and raised in Long Beach. Practice has been up for 2 years now, 2.5 years. Um, yeah, treat a lot of athletes, a lot of um, Gen Pop as well. But here I didn't want to do the just adjustment only type of practice. Like I wanted to incorporate a lot of like exercise, a lot of rehab. So each visit here is not just an adjustment and you're gone. It's, we get to the root cause of pain, and then, I empower people with activities that they can do to kind of strengthen their body. And then things to kind of, avoid. But a lot of soft tissue, a lot of rehab exercises, and a lot of adjustments. So I try to combine everything with my approaches at the office here.
Yeah, you actually have a nice layout on your website that kind of talks about that.
Thanks.
And it looks like we
Yeah.
lost Matt for a few seconds, so maybe he'll come
Okay.
back in just a moment. But
Okay.
coupled with that, Dr. Lewis, it seems like a lot of chiros are kind of going into that form
Hmm.
where they're incorporating more movement style. A lot of
Yeah.
athletes are coming into that. As a result of that, they're going to chiropractors instead. Can you
Yeah.
kind of speak to that? Is that something you were interested in just because you were in athletics and you were, that's sort of where your interest was at, or is that just where the business is going these days?
I think it's both. I think the business is definitely going in that direction. I think people are starting to feel like adjustments are great for temporary feelings, but it's not sustainable unless you do all the other things. And I think that there's so much overlap between a lot of the fields nowadays, like physical therapy, chiropractic, and I think that just having a doctor that can kind of do all of it is probably the best approach. I see a lot of stuff online. Nowadays with social media, anybody can just put up advice without any type of credentials. And I think that, I see a lot of stuff where I'm just like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But being an actual doctor, like I think that gives you the credibility to, attract a lot of patients, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, and kudos to you for taking that kind of an initiative because
Hmm.
you clearly you take you take what you do seriously.
Yeah.
I think that's attributed to your 5-star rating all the way down the
Yeah.
board. Great, great responses from all of your patients. You haven't been
Hmm.
open very long, but already a lot of success. So I think that
Yeah.
kind of speaks volumes to where you're at. And you sort of lean
Appreciate
on a lot of modalities, or not a lot, but certain modalities. Have you seen some work better than others?
it. Yeah, I mean, I have my own set of weights in here. Exercise rehab definitely speeds up the process in terms of like healing. But a lot of it's like meeting the patient where they're at. some of the patients I have, especially Gen Pop, like they haven't done specific movements ever. So it's a lot of me coaching them on how to use certain muscles, how to, get the most out of their exercises. As far as like equipment though, I mean, ARP Neuro for sure, for sure is up there. It's one of my newest modalities, but yielded some of the quickest results for sure.
Yeah, tell us a little bit. I apologize. Technically, I seem to be bouncing on and off, so
Yeah.
I missed probably some good stuff. But tell us a little bit. Tell everybody, how did you even come across the direct current of ARP Neuro, and give us a little background story for our listeners.
Yeah, so actually, I interned at a facility while I was in Cairo school that actually had the ARP Neuro. So I had a little bit of background on it, and I knew that like they had told me they had treated Zach Levine there, who's a NBA player. And so I got introduced to that a little bit. I already knew about electric stim in terms of the more common ones like the TENS unit and the actual electric stim unit through school. And I knew that some people were using it while they were working out. Um, but a lot of the exposure I got from it was actually a lot of my peers that I went to school with were getting the device and having good results from it. And I'd pick their brain a little bit here and there about like certain injuries they were using it for. And then, yeah, I just decided that, it's probably time in my venture to implement that into my office as well.
Okay, good. I love it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love asking the question. So, you start implementing, you bringing it in. Tell us a little bit about that experience for maybe a chiropractic officer that has not brought in a new modality. Walk us through a little bit of how that worked, the training, the getting it on some patients. Um, how did that experience go?
Yeah, so I had a patient in mind already. I had a high school mom reach out to me, who had a son that was in his senior year of high school. He was varsity as a sophomore, but he sustained a UCL injury his sophomore year, and he never was the same. He would play maybe a week or two and then be out for months. And he just really wanted to play, and season had already started, and I knew that there wasn't a lot of time to make this work. um and I knew
What sport was he playing?
he's a high school pitcher.
Pitcher. Okay, baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, so the season was already started. I was like,
Mhm.
do we have a goal in mind? Like, you want to play a specific game? I can try to rehab you until you get to that game. But time wasn't necessarily on my side with this one, and I wanted to take the case because athlete one, and then two, it was challenging, so I wanted to accept the challenge.
Mhm.
Um, but I had a patient in mind, and then yeah, decided that let me give the ARP Neuro a try, and if I can meet this deadline, then it's going to be great. So yeah, I just wanted to use our or try it out on this patient, and yeah, I got great results. So I was just like, okay, like I'm definitely on board. Use it on myself too.
Yeah.
Had some low back pain. I was like, all right, let me run through a deadlift setup and let's see how I feel. And honestly, I felt great after one session. So I was like, okay, I'm a believer.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you
Yeah,
have to feel it in order
yeah,
to, we can describe it all, all day. But it's not until you feel it that it really starts to, kind of answer a lot of questions, especially in your case, with that doctor brain, then
yeah,
your wheels are moving, and which is why we like guys like you getting
100%.
your hands on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love.
totally.
I again apologize. Technically, I keep bouncing off, so I'm missing all the good meat. But yeah, and so after getting through that, tell us. I always like to ask, what are some of the biggest aha moments when you brought that in and started utilizing it for another patient, and what was the condition, and what really kind of led you even more towards the integration of direct current into your practice?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that, especially when you have people that are in acute pain, like you have to be very gentle with rehab. Like, you can't load them too much. You can't put too much weight on. You have to be really patient with your rehab. And I think that the ARP neuro was something that I was able to do that wouldn't increase low tension on like injured ligaments and still yield pretty good results. Like it almost masks the it's more tender on the ligaments, but also still intense in terms of the rehab. So it was a good way to treat acute pain in this case, to try to get my patient on the field as soon as possible.
Oh, good. That's great. It's a good answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake. I mean, it is amazing. We hear so many of the aha moments and all the great, outcomes. I mean, it's kind of the slogan that we live by, because you can't argue with the outcomes of success. Being a new chiropractor, I'd love to ask, for those new emerging chiropractors, because we've worked with a lot of the universities that have started integrating direct current into their curriculums. But talk to some of those new chiropractors, or even maybe somebody that has an existing practice, and bringing in this modality in direct current, because a lot of people kind of already have their process. What advice would you give either a new chiropractic office that's just getting started, and some of the challenges with that startup, and then integrating the direct current ARP neuro into their practice?
Yeah, I think a lot of the testimonies could answer that. A lot of athletes use it, but I think that especially if you are leaning towards like being a couch-based practice, or even if you do PI work or anything like that, it results matter at that point. If you're results driven, then and if you actually want to get people better, this is a real easy way to do so, and in a short amount of time. Um, yeah, if you're in any type of rehab setting, I think this is perfect. Even Gen Pop, because a lot of those, again, a lot of Gen Pop doesn't. They're not former athletes or anything like that. Introducing them to ARP neuro with, even just like sitting to standing movement or anything like that. Like it's very, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and I think that the results, kind of speak for themselves.
Have you seen client, pull through? Because you get somebody, obviously you get somebody out of pain, they go and they tell people. You get somebody
Yeah.
working or functioning or getting back into that game as an athlete, or even a weekend warrior that wants to just move and play pickle. How has
Yeah.
that helped your practice by just having such successful outcomes?
Yeah, like in the case of this high school pitcher, his whole team has seen him on the bench for the past couple years because he hasn't been able to, physically, contribute. And just seeing a provider and being able to, get back to pitching in 2-3 weeks, like that, is just mind blowing for a lot of people. Um, yeah, that exposure for sure has definitely helped. Run clubs have been very prominent nowadays, and a lot of like the uh, pains that kind of come from endurance running, like plantar fasciitis, a lot of knee pains. You know, that those type of events are also like I think very helpful in terms of like getting people through, and just doing what they love to do essentially.
Yeah, I think that you've nailed it. I think we just had an Olympian on, and I don't know
Mhm.
if you've. I highly suggest you or anybody else following us on Instagram and or subscribing to our YouTube channel. But she posted a thing, and it was all about her secret of this direct current and how it has helped her, now.
And it looks like he's buffering again.
Yeah.
The internet gods did not want him to finish that statement for some reason. But I actually I want to go back to you talking about the pitcher, because I was really
Yeah.
proud of how you did some of that treatment.
Mhm.
It's kind of a advanced treatment, for someone who just got their hands on it. I know you said you worked with it a little bit, in school,
Yeah.
but I'm going to pull this video up again, and let me see if I can get back there. Hold on. And could you kind of explain what was going on in this case, where not necessarily this one, but when you get into that pitch while you're using the device, what were you doing here, and why did you decide to go like right there? He has a device on, you have him going through the pitch. Can you explain what's going on here?
Yeah. So, wanted to kind of emulate or simulate the pitching motion for the patient, because it's the pitching motion that, or the actual pitch, that causes him some medial elbow pain. So in the beginning of rehab, I put the pads primarily towards like the scapular region, because he had a little bit of scapular winging, and I wanted to address that first, before I got to the elbow. But yeah, just getting him ready to return to play, like literal return to play. This was towards the end of rehab. Once I got the scapular winging kind of addressed, I wanted to, have him simulate throws and then see if there was any pain in the medial elbow.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And you were just running through reps like this, and
yes,
and then of course as he goes through it, is that him pitching?
that's him pitching.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I was
Yeah,
really proud
so
of how you actually use that.
thank you. Yeah, I had his mom send me that. I was like, yo, like I was getting feedback from his mom throughout the process. She's like, yo, he's killing it. No hitter right now. Scoreless innings. And then I was like, yo, send me a video of him pitching. And I got the end pitch right there was a strikeout. I was like, oh, it's perfect. Like, yeah.
Go to Dr. Lewis if you want your
Yeah.
kid to get back on the field or back on the court.
100%.
Come on.
Yeah.
And your location, obviously that location, there's a lot of great athletes over there. Is
Yeah.
that your main focus, or is it pretty broad, from there?
In terms of like athletes or Gen Pop, is that
Yeah.
the question?
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love treating athletes. I was an athlete. I think that, when I was in Chiro school, I was in sports med, like literally they're one of the things that they say is like athletes get the worst healthcare. And I just wanted it to be something where it's like, okay, like maybe I can be the bridge that gaps, or the bridge between that gap there, and help them out. But I treat Gen Pop also. It's just very different how I approach things with, Gen Pop, because, with athletes, like you tell them to do something, they do it. Gen Pop, you
Exactly.
have to kind of coach them through it a little bit more.
Especially with a device like ARP, because it is like a
Yeah.
workout. They are going to get
Yeah.
some of that delayed onset muscle soreness. Someone who's not as active, that could be essentially debilitating for them if they go too hard. So yeah,
100%.
I certainly agree with you on that. But I'm, when I was going through the Instagram and I saw that one, these are things that, we could pull right off of our training that you were doing it. And to me, it looks better because it's coming out of your clinic. It's not coming out of our
Sure.
mouth. And I was just really happy to see that you were doing that.
Appreciate that.
Coupled with pitching, are you seeing any other athletes where you're doing some more of that, like movement specific to their sport?
Not at the moment. I have someone that's in jujitsu that's inquiring about the services. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how I'm going to do that. I've treated a few volleyball players in the past, but I haven't gotten them to use the ARP at this moment. And then like I said, a lot of run clubs are very popular now. So we're seeing a lot of foot and knee injuries. So that's on the list. But
Yeah.
as of
Yeah.
right now, that's probably the biggest, in terms of athletes and the motion, using it with emotion. It's probably my success story right now.
Have you had any chance to use it with a foot bath, like where their feet go in the water? Have you used that protocol yet?
Not yet. But that I did buy one of the foot baths off Amazon, like one of the trays. So yeah, I'm definitely my next post will definitely be about that for runners.
Oh, very
Um,
cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm following. I'm obviously, going to be a follower and a fan, and I'm
Appreciate
excited to see you bringing them back. I mean, just the way you're using it already,
it. Hmm.
you're ahead of the game. Some doctors have had this for years and haven't posted it for some reason. They want to
Okay.
keep it a secret. I don't know
All right.
why, because you want people to come to your clinic who have this technology.
Oh,
So
100%.
yeah, I'm definitely excited for you to kind of try the foot bath. Even for athletes, we've seen a lot of success with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just make sure you keep that in mind.
Okay.
Where are some places that we can reach you? Like if people want to follow you on Instagram, what's the place to
Yeah.
go see that?
So it's at so dr.lewis.dc. And that's my Instagram handle, or that's my TikTok handle as well. Email at info@drlewisdc.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm guessing this is your website here, Dr. Lewis.
And also the
DC.
website right there. Yeah.
Perfect. See, we got you hooked up. So
Mhm.
yeah, make sure you check him out on Instagram. Make sure you follow him and check out his website. If you are in the local area, you know, in Cerritos, California, where's that location at? In
Pretty close to
California?
Long Beach.
Okay.
It's Southern California, so it's in LA County essentially.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so
Yeah.
you are in the melting pot of a lot of people who could benefit from this. For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Dr. Lewis, thank you for your time. We
It was a
apologize for
pleasure.
some of the technical issues, especially the viewers that are out there, but thanks for bearing with us on that. And we'd love to
Of
have you
course.
back, you know, just to kind of see how things are going.
Of course.
You know, as you progress in your business, as we change some things and improve on our end, it'd be nice to have you back on and share some of your new success stories.
Yeah, of course. Whenever you guys want me on, just let me know.
Yeah, and you know, if I'm ever in your office, I want to have a shooting contest with
Oh,
your
yeah, yeah.
basketball. I saw you put it
The
up there.
hoop? We
Let's
have the
go.
hoop.
I love it. I love it. Let's go. So next time I'm over there, we gotta play horse or something.
I love it. Let's do it.
Dr. Lewis, thanks again for your time.
Of course. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you everyone
Thank you,
for joining
guys.
in.